to my channel. Welcome to a new video. Haven't done a sit down video for a while, and I actually filmed one a few weeks ago. It hasn't gone live yet, and it'll be going up after this. But I decided to film in a different kind of setup. I decided to film against my white chest of drawers, try something different. Also what I felt looked a little bit better than the other side of my room. So we are here with a new video. Before we get into it, let's just do simple things. Please check my channel out. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Please subscribe. Please comment down below. I just subscribed twice. Please like the video. It will mean a lot to me. For those of you who don't know, I do like weekly vlogs, mainly weekly vlogs if I'm honest, alongside doing some sit down videos sprinkled in around occasionally like about uni or lifestyle. Mainly about uni. I am trying to work on a series about self-love and all this lot, but I don't want to sorry, I thought my laptop broke on me. I don't want to start it until I actually have I know exactly what I want to do, so that's going to be in the works. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just get on with this video. I've forgotten how to do sit down videos, I'm not going to lie. So, for this first video, my nose is starting to run now. I'm doing 2 videos today, that's why I was there for the first video. For this video I am doing the 10 things I learnt whilst at uni, hoping to impart some wisdom to other people, but really it's more of a fact that this was my own personal experience, and one thing I want to reiterate, or I don't know how you say that word, basically remind you all that someone else's experience at uni will not be the same as yours. Please don't compare your uni experience to someone else's, and that's something I should have put on this thing, but seriously, I will say things on here, but that might not mean that it relates to you. It might not mean it will help you. It's more of a point that this is what I learned at uni, and if it does help some of you, then that's great, and if it doesn't, then that was my experience. You will have a different experience. Always a better thing to have a better experience, your own experience, and not compare it to someone you see on social media. I will try and do a whole uni roundup video once I finish my masters, so I can add it all in. I've done roundups at once, all of them. I did a roundup in year 1, a roundup in year 2, roundup in year 3, and I think I did a masters one. But I will try and round it up. But just because my experience was one way doesn't mean your experience will be the same. Okay, so as I was saying, do not compare your uni experience to someone you see online. I've watched so many YouTube videos over the last 5 years, because I was watching a lot before I started uni, just to see kind of what to expect. But then I did have my expectations from that, and I realised how much I had expectations from someone else's videos. So do not compare yourself to someone online or your friends, because it's easy to see your friends living their best life at uni, going, oh my god, it's so amazing, but you might not have that same experience. You might be thinking, this is so crap, this is so shit, I don't like it, I really don't want to be here, why am I here, etc. Everyone's experience at uni is different, and that's it's the same as everyone's life is different, and everyone is on a different path. This is actually something I did learn, and I will it's going to be my first point because I just thought about it, but before I get onto it, everyone is different, everyone's life is different, which means everyone's uni experience will be different. You will not have the same experience as someone else. They might be going through similar things, you might be enjoying it as much as them, but you will have a different experience to that person. So try not to compare yourself to others. Try not to think, is there something wrong with me because I'm not enjoying this? Maybe uni is just not for you. So, yeah. I'm just now going to get onto my top 11 things, because my first one I got one that I just remembered and I didn't write it down. My first one is just to remember that everyone is on their own different path. I think during uni and first year, especially in first year, I was trying to live my life to be in the same position as my flatmates, because they were all socialised and I wanted to do the same. To the point and extent on my first night, I was trying to live up to what I thought was the right thing, and I drank way too much to the point where I threw up, and I spent the first 2 nights of Freshers Week in bed, not doing anything, not going anywhere whilst my housemates were socialising. And I realised I didn't want that. And I was doing it, so then I continued to socialise with them. It was a very messy year, or half the year. But you've just got to realise that everyone is on their own different path, and sometimes people do things differently to you, and it's totally fine. There's no right way of going around uni. If you don't want to party, you don't want to party. Nothing wrong with that. I think there's high what's the conception or that view that you have to go out and party when you're at uni because everyone is going out and partying at uni. I think that's one thing I was nervous about because I didn't party before and I thought I wouldn't want to at uni and people were going to judge me, but really they shouldn't judge you. It's a stigma that you have to go out, you have to socialise, you have to party. I get the socialising part because you don't want to be alone forever, but you can find people out there who don't really enjoy the nightlife. I actually have one of my closest friends from uni. She didn't really go out that much. She did enjoy going out, but she rarely went out. And she still had friends. She has really good friends. Like, she's still one of my closest friends to this day. Like, honestly. So, going out doesn't constitute the fact that you're going to have all these friends. It really doesn't. It can make things fun. But there's other things to do that don't involve drinking. So yeah, just remember everyone's on their path. If you see people wanting to drop out of uni, or considering dropping out, or they've dropped out, or they're taking a year out, don't judge them so far. Or if that's what you want to do, don't think if I do this, what am I giving up? Why is it like? Is everyone going to judge me? Because that's your life. It's your path. I lived with someone for 2 years, and he didn't do very well. He failed first year in Alpha. Well, he deferred first year when he was in first year, which was my first year. Didn't really know that well then. Second year he failed. I was in second year, he failed his first year. So he had to redo it when I was in my final year. And then he told me he was deferring or taking a year out. And first of all, I was thinking, why would you do that? You just finally passed first year. But I'm like, it's his path, it's his life. Everyone is on their own path. It's the same as in reality. Not reality, that sounds really bad. Uni is still reality. But like, same as if you leave uni. Some people will get a grad job straight away, or someone will go travelling. Someone will go to do a master's. People will go to a part-time retail job. That is fine. That is your life. That's your path. You are on the path to get somewhere. Don't try and compare yourself to someone else who graduated at the same time as you and who's got a grad job in their dream job, because reality is that's their path maybe, but they might not like it in a year's time. And I'm like, I don't want to do this now. You can slowly work your way up there and find a dream job. You'll be happy there, and you'll be like, I actually love this. And you had that chance to just chill and not be as stressed, because I've not done a full-time job yet ever in my life. I'm 25, but I can guarantee I'm gonna miss the part-time life where I have like days to myself, or like 6 days to myself, like I do this week. You never know. Like, reality is, okay, having a full-time job, like a Monday to Friday job, would be perfect for anyone, like, or you and your friends, because then you can all meet up on the weekends. But that isn't reality. Reality is life is a bit of a mess. You don't see your friends from uni all the time. You have to accept it. You don't even see your friends from home all the time. You just have to accept it, and eventually one day you all meet up. Like, my best friend from school, I haven't seen her since I moved back from uni. We've just been both been busy with our own lives, and we just haven't been able to see each other. But it doesn't mean I don't miss her. I love her to pieces, and I would literally die to see it right now. But we're both so busy with our own lives, and it just gets in the way. So yeah, that was my number 1 point. My next one is a big one I think for me that I learned, is to have a planner, like a planner diary or a planner pad like a weekly planner or a daily one. I've been using a daily one recently, which I think has been really helpful. But I used to always carry around like notepad planners at school, uni. Sorry, my throat is really dry. I used to carry around a notepad planner through uni, throughout at least the last 3 years, and if I didn't take it to uni, it was always in my uni room, because I lived away from uni for this, and it was honestly a godsend. I would write down my plans for the week on each day, saying what had to be in, but I used to find the week, if I had a planner that was dated, I'd find the week where the work was due in. If I didn't, I have those undated planners, I have the calendars at the top, so I'd like at the front, so I would just write in there saying this is due in on this date. But then I would write down what I need to get done in the week. So if I needed to get some like work done for that coursework in the week, I put it on a day where I plan to do it, where I plan to sit down, when I plan to do like my YouTube stuff and my Instagram, when I plan to meet friends. Because I always have to put that down, because if I didn't, it would just stress me out. I'm a person who has to have plans, have to have lists. I have to. I'd also put down when I was working, because in my final 2 years I had a job. I would also put down like when I had show choir, because even though that's only a couple of hours a day, it's still a chunk of the day that if I don't, even though I know I've got it, if I don't write it down, it's just, my mind gets stressed out. It's very, so I found planners were very easy to like not de-stress, but lessen the stress, to make it a bit less stressed. I was still always stressed. I think you must have seen my uni vlogs. If you haven't, they're all on this channel, my vlog channel. I still linked here, and I think the videos must be in a playlist in here, but I cannot remember. I did get stressed a lot in my uni work. It's very easy to get lost and stressed, but I've learned over time how to handle it, kind of. My next one is not to put too much pressure on myself in both my uni work and out, like, socialising, basically. I put a lot of pressure on myself, especially in the first 2-3 years, to get to try and work so hard to get a grade, and then I get the grade back and it will never be what I wanted. And in all honesty, is as long as I'm learning and I aim to try and get a good grade, but don't put the pressure to get that grade. I seem to do better when I don't put the pressure on myself, basically what I'm saying. Like, this year, my Masters was meant to be harder than my undergrad. Put less pressure on myself to get the work done. I just kind of did it, and I got 10 times better grades in my work, and I'm still shocked I did it. I'm on the road to a distinction, do not know how. My dissertation, I've literally, I've given myself enough time, in perspective to my friends, but in my head I'm like, not really giving myself the best time, if that makes sense. So, but I still could do well in it, but I'm not putting myself through too much pressure as I did in the first 3 years and that, because it's just a lot. It ruins the idea of uni when you put a lot of pressure on you and yourself. Like, uni is the time of your life you're never going to get back. For me, my life at uni was the best time of my life. I would do it again if I could. I got my independence, my confidence grew, I found myself a lot through it, and I found some lifelong friends through it as well that I literally couldn't. And some of them were from when I had a job, and some of them were from uni. I obviously had a job for my final 2 years, so that made the pressure of uni work a lot harder, especially in the final year, because I put a lot of pressure on myself to get a lot of work done in 3 days, because I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I would mostly work night shifts, so I could do the work during the day. But if you work a night shift Friday and Saturday, where I worked, the place shuts at midnight. You don't usually get out until like 12:30, 1:45. I would tend to walk home because I didn't want to pay for a taxi, so I'd get home at like 1:30 in the morning, and then the next day I didn't want to get out of bed till like midday, and then I had 3 or 4 hours before I needed to leave again. And at 4 hours I needed to eat or cook a dinner. I needed to have a shower, and I didn't want to just put myself through stress of doing uni work. So I put too much pressure on myself to actually do work. But then this is the other part. I put a lot of pressure on myself to socialise in the 3 years. Didn't want to spend my days indoors on my own, so I don't go out a lot. And I noticed it a lot when lockdown happened, is how much I would force myself to socialise with people. Like, of course I love my friends, but I would force myself to go out every time they were going out because I didn't want to miss out. Basically, I didn't want to have FOMO, to the point where I was drained by the end of the week, and I was so tired, got myself ill too many times. I think, especially in lockdown, when lockdown hit, I realised how much I had gone out, because I was so deflated when lockdown happened. And then during lockdown, my energy picked up. I was like, oh my god. I went and I was like not getting ill. I was living like a actually healthy life, and I was like, what is going on? And I realised I put so much pressure on myself to go out with my friends. And don't get me wrong, I love going out with my friends, I love socialising, it's one of the things I love to do. I love to dress up, love to do my makeup, love to get dressed up to go on a night out, but I was doing it too much because I put pressure on myself to go out, because that was the stigma at uni. My next one is make the most of uni. I'm not going to lie, it goes so fast. You think when you move into your halls in the first year that is it. You've got ages till you finish, but those 3 years, or if you do a master's, 4 years, or if your course is 4 years, goes so fast. It might seem like at the time it's dragging, but before you know it, you will be moving back home and having to find a full-time job, and you'll be like, where did that time go? And then you'll be like, oh, but I missed out on this, missed out on that. I really mean make the most of uni, because by the time you move and finish, that's when adult life hits. And I don't think people realise that as much as you're living kind of an adult life at uni, because you're independent, you're paying your own bills, you're living in a house that you pay rent to, which, okay, you might pay rent to your family at home, but it's so different to paying an actual rent for a house, or in uni. There's so much more responsibilities. So that's part of an adult life, but you're still getting the kind of easy way out. You're not having to work full time, you're literally having to do uni work. You can easily socialise. Majority of people will get a loan. You can use that to go out and do that. So make the most of it, because it goes so fast. My next one is don't change yourself. It's so easy to get caught up with trying to fit in, trying to make those friends because you think you have to, but you think the only way you can do that is by changing yourself to being the way society wants you to be. Do not do that. I will tell you, you will regret it. I'm not trying to tell you you have to don't change, to have to be yourself. If you can't, if you feel like you have to act a certain way to fit in, and that's what you want to do it. Because eventually you will learn that it is not the way it should be. By the time you get to like third year and you're coming to the end, you'll be like, for this whole time, have I actually been myself? I think first year, the first 6 months, I spent a lot of time not being myself. Like, I'm a person who, when I'm around people I actually get on with, I can be my complete idiotic self, not care. But for the first 6 months, and I'm always like that around the house, around that, wherever I am. But when I was at uni for the first 6 months, I was not that person. Not in front of people. If I was like that person, I was in my room doing it, but barely. Like, I used to boogie around my room constantly at home. Went to uni, would try not to sing in my room. Was too scared of people hearing me. If you watch back my uni videos from first year, even though my flatmates found out I did it, or like they heard me do it, I tried to be as quiet as possible because I didn't want people to hear me. And I was exactly like that, especially when I went to second year. But in first year, because I didn't know the people I lived with and I was scared. But in first year, the first 6 months, I was not myself. I know I wasn't, and it was after Easter holidays when I actually started socialising with my friends Simran and Vili and Annika and like that group of people. I realised how I was not myself around my flatmates and their girlfriends. I was a lot more myself around these people. Nothing wrong with my flatmates or their girlfriends. They're lovely people, and I will hold down and say they were like a good part of my life. Like, I'm not gonna say just because I wasn't myself around them. They actually really did help me grow as a person. I learnt a lot when I was around them, and I wouldn't have got through first year without them. But I wasn't myself around them. I was a lot more myself around my like closest friends. But it's when you realise who your closest friends are. Like, I love hanging out with Vili, someone like Annika. Like, I literally am myself around them, completely 100% myself. I don't need to be someone else just to be around them because they accept me for who I am, and I'm very grateful for that. Like, they are like some of my best friends that I wouldn't have got through uni without. Like, clearly wouldn't have done it. So try not to change yourself. It's really easy to do so when you go somewhere new, you don't know anyone. If you try and change yourself, it's going to be and you do it forever, it's going to be really hard to get back to yourself. And trust me, you don't want that. I'm just saying. And also that means don't care what people think of you, because really, just because you're in a new city, you realise that people really don't care. People really do not care, and if people are going to judge you, have nothing better to do with their life, and that's their problem, not yours. My next one is, and this is a big thing I wish I did, make the most of the library. The library is there for your convenience, not the uni's convenience, for your convenience. You pay a certain amount of money to go to uni, and part of that is to go to the library. You're paying for it, basically. Use it. It's honestly, I barely went to the library in the 4 years I've been at uni. When I had so many deadlines the week before I started back at work, I spent so much time in the library, and if not the library, a uni building, doing my work, and I'm telling you, I had never been more motivated. I got so much done that weekend when I was in the library every day. I forced myself to get out of the house, go to the library and do the work, and I'm telling you, doing something that's not your room is more motivating than doing something that's in your room, where you are literally getting up in the morning, you're sitting in your room at the desk doing your work, and then you're going to go to bed at night. Like, it is a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I actually have been doing work at home, but it's been hard to motivate myself because I literally live in this room. So the library is the perfect thing. You've got to make the most of it, because honestly, it is so helpful. And actually can be very relaxing. Next one is, do not stress too much about finding a house for uni. Honestly, don't. It's worth it in a way, but I'm not saying it's worth being stressed about it, but it is an important factor of when you're going into second year, third year, fourth year, or masters, to find a place to live, because you do not want to be stuck, and you don't want to stay in halls because it is expensive to stay in halls. It's also very loud there. You want to get out. It's just not great. But I'm not being funny. In first year, I got stressed about it before Christmas. when really there was no need for it. I found a house and paid for a deposit before Christmas, and I actually really liked that house, so I'm not even going to deny it. It was a great house. I enjoyed living there for 2 years, but it was stressful. I was like, oh my god, I need to find a house. And because I'd never done it before, I was like, this is important. Like, but really, there's no need to stress. Last year, during lockdown, I didn't get to go around houses to view it because obviously COVID, I was living in Red Hill, whilst two of my friends who actually I lived with in the Masters actually were able to go around the house. But we struggled, so we found one house, me and my friend Simona and Chloe found one house. I paid a deposit for it. It was all planned, and then it fell through. And then we had to find another house, and it was stressful because I was like, what if we don't have a place to live? Because I ain't doing it from home. I'm not commuting. I would rather be in Portsmouth. Luckily, we found a house. House was okay. Landlord was terrible. But it was a house, and honestly, as long as you've got a roof over your head, that's all that matters, really. So try not to stress too much. You will find something somewhere at some time. You just need to not stress too much. It's probably not the biggest of your worries. It's probably, I wouldn't say the least of your worries, but it should not be at your top priority, especially at the beginning of your year. Think about if it gets to about August and you haven't got a place to live, I would start to worry. But I wouldn't worry up until at least June, because even everyone says, oh, the student houses go by then. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Think about how many people choose to come to uni at clearing after the results come in and they go, oh, I want to go to that uni at this point. Oh, they didn't get to their chosen uni. They didn't apply for anyone else. So they had to apply through clearing. Where are they going to live if halls don't take them? They're going to live in a student house. So obviously there's student houses available. You just got to be patient. Another one is explore the city you're living in. I'm not going to lie to you. It is important too, because you're going to be living there for at least 3 years, and if you don't know it that well, you're not going to have a great time. I'm going to tell you something. When you grew up in a place, like an area, you obviously get to know the area. You don't just live in the area, you get to know the area. You kind of get to know what happens around the area. You get to know the safe parts and the dodgy parts. You get to know, the fun parts and the boring parts. It's very easy to get to know your hometown. But when you move out, you're stuck in a situation where you could either socialise with friends and enjoy the town or not. Even if you haven't made friends yet, explore the place you're living in, because you're going to be there for 3 years and it will make your whole experience 10 times better. I am not going to lie about that. My next one is, I have a different one, but I'm actually going to say this next one and get rid of the last one because it's pointless. Try and join a society. Find something you're interested in, whether it's dance, cheer, show choir, gaming, games, LGBT society, anything you believe in or you enjoy, or a hobby, a sport, singing, drama. Join a society. I'm not going to lie to you, you will not regret it. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really got lifelong friends from show choir. I've got a few friends who I still talk to. I'm actually seeing one next week when I go to Portsmouth, and I'm so excited, and I actually think I could still be really close with this girl. I could probably spend time and see her as a good friend in the future, but I haven't got friend. I'm not I don't really talk to many of them from show choir, not because I don't want to. It's one of those things. You don't always spend a lot of time talking to them after uni, not because you don't want to, but just because their path's a different path, like I said, and you're kind of going on your own different route, and you're not that close. But when you're at uni and you're in that society, they will be part of your friendship group for a long time. Once or twice a week, you'll see these people. You'll have fun doing something you're all interested in, because you might live with people who are not interested in the same thing as you. But as long as you're in a society with someone who's interested in it, you're finding there's things in common, and you can make lifelong friends from it. Not going to deny that. I have made friends who I could still speak to if I needed to or wanted to. I could just message them and say, hey. I'm not saying I don't want to, either the way. I do want to. Just our own lives are getting in the way. So I loved show choir. It was the best 4 years of my life. I say 4 years, although this year it's nothing to do with show choir's fault. It is the pandemic's fault. We were never actually able to meet up in person to do show choir because we were in a pandemic, and obviously singing in a pandemic not great. So we did it over Zoom, which was nice, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was really nice like to see people's faces, even if it was only a small group of us. But I had the most fun doing that, like every Thursday night, and I really enjoyed doing it. Like, it was a great time. 4 years of my life I did that society, and if I didn't force myself to go to that society, I don't actually know if my uni experience would have been as good as it was. Like, I lived with a girl from show choir this last year. She was lovely. I loved her. She was so sweet, but that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for show choir. So I will not deny that, like, I absolutely loved being part of a society. It got me through everything. And actually, wouldn't have been living in my second year house if it wasn't for show choir. There was drama happened to get to that place, and the person I lived with wasn't actually part of show choir, but he was friends with someone I went to show choir with. So that's how we met, and that's how I ended up living with him. So that happened. So I think societies are very helpful. They're very good at getting you out of your comfort zone and getting you out of your shell, I think, because you're going to grow more confident with people who are doing things you enjoy as well. Like, I wouldn't sing in front of people on a stage most of the time because I was too shy to do it. But over time, I actually would do it. I auditioned for solos and songs that I never thought I would do. So over time, your confidence grows. My next one is make plans on weekends with friends to chill. Make plans to come home maybe for weekends to see friends and family. Make plans with your friends or family to come up to see you. Basically, try and make a plan for the weekends, because during the week you're going to spend your time doing uni work. And as much as you're going to have deadlines coming up and you're going to have to still work on weekends, try and at least have some kind of social life on the weekends if you don't during the week, because otherwise you will go insane. I actually always make plans for weekends most of the time. I barely had time when I was sitting at home just doing uni work. If I wasn't doing plans with people, I'd have plans for myself to have a movie day, to film a YouTube. I had to spend my day working on my YouTube and my social media because I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed my weekends because of that. Or I would work until I got a job. Then the weekend became a working weekend, but at the same point I was making money. Can't complain. My last one is, and it sounds so stupid, but I think it's very important, especially if you go to uni single or you end up at uni and you somehow become single. Make the most out of the dating scene at uni, whether it's online dating or nights out, meeting people, meeting guys. Honestly, if things don't work out, you're probably never going to see these people again. They probably don't live in your hometown. You're okay. But also, these are your times of your life where you never know what can happen. You can meet the love of your life if you just try and make the most of your dating scene. Don't just expect it to happen though, because it doesn't just happen. I'm not saying you have to look for a relationship, live your life. Don't look for a relationship, that's the worst thing. But just enjoy yourself, enjoy the dating scene. You never know what can happen. You will probably not meet a Prince Charming at first. Like they say, you have to kiss a few frogs before you meet your Prince Charming. But really it is, you grow confidence from that, you have fun, you meet new people. You could end up making a new friend from it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I dated a guy for 6 weeks, and I've spoken about him before in vlogs. He did break my heart. It was horrible, but it actually worked out well for us. We ended up realising we were actually too good. We were better as friends, and actually, I still speak to him now. He's a bit annoying at times, not gonna lie, but we still get on. I still consider him as a friend, but I did have another person who I was talking to, and we were friends for a while, but we're not friends anymore. Don't talk to him, blocked him and everything. Don't like him. But yeah, you never know who you can meet. You could actually meet friends for life. You could learn new things. You could basically make some new memories. And you could literally just have some fun. It's the whole point of being single and go on dating, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, that is the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Please subscribe. I will see you again with another video when you'll see me in the exact same outfit, in the exact same position, because I'm filming on the same day. I love you guys so much. Goodbye.